Nah, Naj, I did see where you asked me to talk about what these women were doing during the draft. I did manage to see a couple instances because I don't, I really, I don't have a TV. I haven't had a TV in 3 years, and I really don't follow sports like I don't want to say like I should, but like the average male my age would. It really okay. Once you don't play sports, I ain't played sports past high school. I didn't compete in anything. I haven't competed in anything competitive sports wise. I used to do them NAGA tournaments with jujitsu when I was what 26. So that was 20 years ago. That was the last time I competed in anything. So when that leaves, you're not playing for sport. You're not even playing video games. Like I think my pinnacle of video game playing was NBA Live '95. Yeah, yeah, I think so because in '97 I was talking to my friends about basketball, and it somehow came out. I just said, Chris Mullin plays for Golden State, and this was '97. He had already been traded to the Pacers, but I was still playing Live '95, and in my mind, he was still on Golden State. Just like, so in my mind, I don't know, Baron Davis is still playing because that was the last time I followed the league. You know what I mean? Like Chris Paul's a young player to me now, and he's not because I have been following the league for so long that he was like coming up. Like, yeah, I would have to ask myself, is Baron Davis still playing? Right. So that's pretty much how I think. Yo, really, when it come to really following sports, I think it was the hardest when I was playing. If I run down all the video games in my lifetime, and this video does have more substance than me talking about old video games, but it's like it'll probably be Bases Loaded from Nintendo, Tecmo Bowl, Ready, Down, Hot, 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 Hot. Yo, that was my shit. I used to love that game. And if you notice, or maybe you don't notice, but I'm gonna give you some trivia, and then I'm gonna stop talking about video games. When you used to score in Tecmo Bowl, and they used to give the high five, that's actually literally the footage of Walter Payton giving high five to his teammate after he beat Jim Brown's record. That's trivial knowledge that you get from this channel every once in a while. But yeah, so after the video, oh, Coach K, I used to like that too, Coach K, and Madden '93. And see, I didn't get good at Madden '93 until '95. That's how long we were playing it. And yo, whenever you're playing, I don't play video games competitively anymore. And when you do, if you play your boy and it's all y'all sitting in the room and let's say you ice the game with an interception, and that's the end of the game because it was close and you intercepted it, you got the ball, you just kneel on the ball and that's it. When the room gets quiet, if you say, today's game has been brought to you by that old Pat Summerall shit, that'll have the whole room laughing. But anyway, I forgot what I was. Oh yeah, with these sports Negroes, I really don't want sports to come back. I don't. You know why? Because these niggas in sports is too all for the bras. Number one. Number two, the money allows them to pimp and be to simp and be a fool for these girls. That's what really happens. And they're not good role models. I don't know if you know my history like that, but I used to be a teacher, and all the kids wanted to be football and basketball players because they saw that that's where the money was. They didn't want to be doctors or lawyers or engineers. They didn't want to be anything but football and basketball players, not even baseball players. And that's part of the problem too in the black community, that blacks aren't going into baseball like that. I remember a kid, I used to like baseball a lot. I used to play. Like that lets me know my father grew up in the house with me because he passes baseball along to his son. I used to see my dad playing softball as a little boy with this team that was actually from Wilmington. It was actually nationally ranked and full of dudes that are now former longshoremen and stuff like that. My pop still knows them to this day. And there was a player when I was a little boy coming up his name was Claudell Washington. He wasn't no great flashy player. He didn't have a lot of power. He just was a solid everyday player. and he was a black dude. He looked like he could be driving a forklift down at Longshoreman if he didn't play Major League Baseball. He was like a two-time All-Star, I think, career batting average of like 278. I think less than 300 home runs. He stole some bases. He was a solid, good player, and I used to like him and see him as like, somebody to aspire to be like when I was a little boy playing baseball. It's like now, see, Yasiel Puig is not Claudel Washington. So I just leave that alone. But Yasiel Puig is a good player. But I really don't follow baseball like that. I probably couldn't name 10 good players in the league. As Mike Trout, I don't know that many. I just don't know them. But anyway, they're not good role models for kids. And I hope sports doesn't come back. Yeah, that's basically it. I just hope it doesn't come back at all. Because the political power that they don't want to take advantage of. Yeah, that's the real thing. They don't want to take advantage of the fact that they could really cripple. I don't even want to go off in a tangent and talking about all this like that. But that kneel that Colin Kaepernick took, they don't want to take a stand by taking a kneel because, see, it will mess up, yeah, sure, their money temporarily, but it will really mess up the access that those clowns have to interracial sex. That's the real reason why they won't take no stand on the NFL. I used to say to people before all this went down, this with the canceling of sports, why don't you just, try not to watch sports? Just don't watch sports anymore. And niggas weren't hearing that shit. So there really won't be no real progression for black people until we can get on code and not take the field, them players. But they're too selfish to do anything like that. That's why I want the whole thing shut down for that and everything else I mentioned, because really they're truly not good role models, and kids don't need to be following them, and I don't want to empower ignorance. It's almost like giving reparations to people from the hood that want to buy. That's exactly what it is. These NFL players are like giving reparations to Pookie and Ray Ray, if you really think about it, because you're empowering ignorant people to do things that they wouldn't be able to do if they didn't have the talent that other people don't have. Now that talent's going to go to waste now because there's no NFL. Hopefully there's no NFL, no NBA, no NHL. There's not any of that stuff anymore. I hope we're done with all of that.